Today's Gospel from the 8th chapter of Matthew comes at the end of a long day in which Jesus has performed many miracles. At the end of the day, he decides to get into a boat and to cross the Sea of Galilee. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew. When he got into the boat, his disciples followed him. A gale arose on the lake, so great that the boat was in danger of being swamped by the waves. But he was asleep. And they went and woke him up, saying, "Lord, save us. We are perishing." And he said to them, "Why are you afraid, you of little faith?" And he stood up and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a dead calm. They were amazed, saying, "What sort of man is this, that even the winds and the sea obey him?" The Gospel of the Lord. The disciples of Jesus were fishermen, and they would have seen a few storms in their times, a bit like that one in the picture behind me. For them to be scared and to think that they were going to die, it must have been some storm. I wonder if you can think of a time when you realized you were scared, thought, "I'm not going to get out of this. I might be going to die here." I can remember being on one flight when the plane, without warning, hit some big turbulence, and we started to bounce up and down, up and down. People called out, the children started crying, the seatbelt signs came on, some oxygen masks fell down, and the flight attendants pushed the meal trolleys quickly down the aisles and sat down in their seats and tried to look reassuring. But I'm sure every one of us on the plane was just hoping and praying for it to end and for the wings not to fall off. After what seemed like a long time, the pilot got us through it, and you could sense the huge relief all over the plane. Being from Wellington myself, I've experienced quite a few earthquakes in my time, and they can be pretty scary too, especially the longer ones, when everything is rattling and rolling, and things in the house or building start to move and shake, and things fall off the shelves. There's nothing you can do except take shelter, wait, hope, and pray. So the disciples were in good company with Jesus, the worker of miracles. They'd seen him work many throughout that day before they got into the boat. But just when they needed him to pull one out of the bag, he remained sound asleep in the back of the boat. "Lord, save us. We are perishing," they said. And you can sense the panic. No life jackets, no Coast Guard, no rescue helicopter. They knew that they were staring death by drowning in the face. For many of us, most of the time we don't look death in the face each day. So when it does happen, like the disciples, we can panic, cry, pray in desperation. But when the crisis passes, what happens? Does God fade into the background again? Relieved that we can return to normal life, and grateful that God seems to have answered our prayer, calmed the storm that threatened to overwhelm us, we lose that sense of God being in the boat with us. We can't live each day in fear of what might happen to us and be constantly praying to God to save us. God doesn't need or expect that. "Why are you afraid, you of little faith?" he says to us too. God has called each of us into life and calls us each day when we wake to another day of life. Do we believe he is in the boat with us as we travel through the events of each day? He is watching over us, supporting us, and will be with us right up to that moment when we do meet our death and travel into eternity. If we believe this, if this is our faith, then our prayer as we begin each day should be, thank you, God, for my life, for calling me to this day. Give me courage to face whatever this day brings, the calm and the storm, knowing that you are by my side even when I think you are sleeping.